This is Late Night Health. This is the radio show that cares about the most important part of your life, your health. And as we do each and every week, we talk about a wide variety of issues that relate to you, your kids, maybe your grandkids, and of course, future generations. We're going to spend some time talking about everything from psoriasis today to thyroid, and that'll be in hour number 2. This hour, we're going to talk about the race for the cure with the Susan G. Komen Foundation, and we'll start with somebody who I think is going to end up being on the show quite a bit. Her name is Patti Wood. Patti, or Patricia, is the founder and executive director of Grassroots Environmental Education, a not-for-profit organization dedicated to educating the public about the relationship between environmental exposures and human health risks. Patti, welcome to Late Night Health. Do you use a cell phone?
I do.
But
I have one of those old clamshell phones. Everybody looks at me in horror as I pull out my phone. But I really only use it when I'm traveling. I do not use it as a phone to keep in touch during the day. I have wired telephones in both my office and my home. And I speak on landlines 99.9% of the time.
Yeah, but when you're driving home at night because you're running a little late and your husband calls you to say, hey, could you stop and pick up dinner?
Well, first of all, one of the worst places to use a cell phone is in the car. But as you have said, it is one of the most common places that people use it because it's convenient. And it's when you want to be in touch with somebody is when you're on the road. Or when they want to be in touch with you. So, unfortunately, that's just the facts. And, facts are stubborn things. We can't do too much about it. The fact is that being in a car is like being in a Faraday cage. And if you remember your science classes from when you were in high school, you realize that a Faraday cage is a cage that has metal on all sides.
Right.
And so the radiation is basically just bouncing off those opposite walls inside your car.
So it's magnetizing? It's increasing?
It's actually increasing, exactly. And you're getting whole body exposure when you're in a car because your body is just absorbing this radiation from the cell phone.
My grandfather was a typewriter repairman. And he's been gone for many, many years. He would be fascinated by today's iMac, computers, PCs, all of that. Absolutely fascinated. And I'm sure he could pull them apart, not so sure he could put them back together. But the typewriters that he worked on had no electronics in them.
That's right.
Is that better?
Well, from a health perspective, from a radiation exposure perspective, absolutely. We are literally awash in electromagnetic fields, both from appliances in our homes, but also now from radio waves. And these radio waves, or radio frequency radiation, are, kind of everywhere. If you actually could see it as you walked down the street, you would be going through, spaghetti. Just trying to plow through it, trying to get, past it.
I guess I think of movies where the good spies have to break into the bad spies' place. Mm-hmm. All right, and they put on a goggle and they see all these red lines going back and forth.
That's right,
and they have to go through that.
That's
Is that
right.
really what we're traversing? And
yeah, there's no question. I mean, between cell phone towers and wireless routers everywhere inside buildings and these new kiosks that they're putting into cities which have very high-powered Wi-Fi, we're really just unable to find clean, people call them clean places or radiation-free places. There is a place in West Virginia, which many people probably know about, is where we have a satellite transmitter where we don't allow any cell phones within, I think, a 75-mile radius, or it might even be bigger than that. And so, people who have electromagnetic hypersensitivity, which is also known as EHS, people who are dealing with implanted medical devices that are either being impacted or even turned off by being exposed to wireless radiation, and pregnant women. We have a lot of studies and a growing interest in studying how wireless radiation is affecting the development of the brain in a developing fetus.
Have you noticed that most hospitals, especially critical care units?
Oh yeah, they're loaded with electronics, aren't they?
Right, they are. But they say
wireless,
and they say no cell phones.
No cell phones, absolutely.
Except for who? Doctors.
Yeah. Because they're so important.
No,
and those
because
phone calls are so important.
Yeah.
And in fact they are. So we have to be very careful. In fact, some of the lawsuits that have been settled with people who have had very unfortunate episodes with implanted medical devices have actually occurred in hospitals, because there are so many wireless technologies in medical care today. It's that's another risk of going to the hospital.
Well, yeah,
besides C. diff and staph infections. There's another reason to avoid the hospital is the amount of wireless radiation that you find in those buildings. It's amazing.
And walking through that hospital, you can come down, as you said, with a staph infection, or anything, just visiting somebody.
Yeah, just visiting.
Right?
Yeah.
We had to go to the old Chinese style of healthcare. I've said this for years. You pay the doctor each month when you're healthy.
Yeah, that's good.
Right, when you're not. You don't. Our guest is Patricia Wood. She is the founder and executive director of Grassroots Environmental Education. She has a brand new book out. It's great for kids, helping to heal. And we'll tell you more information about that. They're based in Long Island, by the way. And when I get to New York sometime this year, I'll probably have to stop by and leave I don't know where I'll leave my cell phone. I'll just turn it off, I guess.
Turn it off or put it on airplane mode.
Does that, and that helps too?
It doesn't help, it turns it off. Basically, okay. There's no radiation exposure, which everybody should do, by the way, at night. Last
week, Patti and I were talking, and I don't know how we got to the conversation, and you said, do you turn your router off at night? And I don't.
But
why should I?
We're trying at this time, or at this point in this in this technological world or this wireless world, we're now trying to just reduce exposure. We're trying to reduce exposures, especially when you're not actively using, for using a device for your work or for studying or for communication, and that's while you're sleeping. So we're concerned about those exposures that are in your home that are just continuing 24/7. And so you can just turn off that router at night. Unfortunately, you can't do the same thing with a smart meter if you have a utility smart meter on your home.
Just put it in 2 weeks ago.
That is also a 24/7 thing.
Yeah, they just put. I think they put the gas meter in 2-3 weeks ago, and we got the note for the either water or electric. And the problem is that if you don't want it, they want to charge you $300 or $400 a year.
Well, that is a problem. But from a health perspective, I'd pay the $300 or $400 a year and not go to Starbucks a few times.
Well, who goes to Starbucks?
Everybody around here.
Yeah, me too. There's some other issues there too.
Yeah.
The bottom line.
Yeah.
Can the radiation cause the big C, cancer? Is that one of the issues?
Well, the only cancer studies that we have that show that there is an association are the ones from using cell phones, and they're showing an increased incidence of brain tumors, gliomas, as well as acoustic neuromas, and parotid gland tumors. And these are all tumors that are found on the side of the head where people are holding their cell phone, these ipsilateral exposure. So the gland, that salivary gland that is right underneath your ear, is the gland that is affected by this, and it was actually discovered by Israeli dentists who were seeing more and more of their patients with these parotid gland tumors and saying, "What the heck is going on?"
And in Israel, they don't have as many.
In every case, their patients were actually they were asking their patients, and they were saying, "Yes, this is the side of my head I hold my cell phone on." And they were people are holding their cell phones directly against their ears.
So they should use
never. If you look at your manual when you buy your iPhone, it says it right there. It says, "Do not hold this phone directly against your head."
How could you do that?
They know that there is going to be, down the road, or they're going to be down the road lawsuits all over the place.
Wow.
In fact, they've already started.
Our guest is Patti Wood. She is the founder and executive director of Grassroots Environmental Education. We're going to give you some information. If you go to latenighthealth.com, Patti's picture will be up there, as well as a link to the website and all kinds of information about helping to heal the book and some other things as well. All right, we're going to take some time out, do some business, and come back. And then in about 15 minutes, we'll be talking about the race for the cure with the Komen Organization. Don't go away. Patti and I return as Late Night Health continues.